Okay, this is the state of Iowa versus Todd Michael Mullis, Delaware County case FECR 012941. We, the jury, find the defendant, Todd Michael Mullis, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree, signed by the jury foreperson.
Welcome back. Following that verdict, a judge sentenced Todd Mullis to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Let's bring back in criminal defense attorney, civil rights attorney Mark Begno. Mark, a lot of our viewers watched the testimony from Todd Mullis, and they were convinced that this Iowa farmer was telling the truth. He never lost his cool on the stand, but that tape that was recorded and may have said what the prosecution said, was likely the difference in this case. What was your take on that in terms of how do you fight something like that? It comes up in the cross of your client up on the stand. They tried to come back with an analyst that said it was not conclusive, but those are those moments, are they? They're very rare, but boy, they make all the difference.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting moment in the courtroom, and obviously not good for him. I mean, you know, when I listen to it, I see where the state's coming from. It could sound like that. I'm not fully convinced that's what he's saying. But to your point, Ted, you've got to have an explanation. I mean, for him on cross to just say, no, I didn't, no, I don't hear that, and that's it with no explanation, I think is just really tough. I mean, he's fighting for his life there, and I would expect that he would have heard that audio before and would be able to say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I must have been giving chest compressions. Maybe I was saying 1, 2, 3, 4, or something along those lines. I think it's really tough for him to just not have a response at all to that courtroom moment.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? He's giving chest compressions. He's on the phone with 911. It makes little sense that he would be pumping away saying, "You cheating whore," on the phone. He knows that he's on with the 911 operator, but 1, 2, 3, 4 during that makes sense. And it could have flown with the jury, but there really wasn't that alternate theory of what he said. And now he's spending the rest of his days in jail, in prison, taking the stand. As we've seen 3 people do it today, and we've seen many do it over the course of Court TV's history. It is just full of risks, and that is one of those unforeseen moments where the jury is watching every single thing you do, your mannerisms, the tone of voice, and evaluating. It's virtually impossible if you are not innocent to take the stand and walk, is it not?
I think that's fairly fair. There's so much risk to taking the stand because you can't say anything that's inconsistent with what you've said before. Even if you're not lying, you just get it wrong. The state's going to come after you and try to show that you're lying, or you could have a gotcha moment like we just saw there. Generally, that's why criminal defendants don't take the stand outside of kind of limited circumstances where, in my opinion, you have to, like in a self-defense case, where you can't tell the story of how you felt that you were in fear for your life without taking the stand. Outside of that, that's why usually you don't see criminal defendants taking the stand. It's just so risky.
Robert Durst, that trial expected to resume next week. His defense attorneys have promised the jury that he will take the stand. He's done it before. He's now frail, an elderly gentleman. How do you think he is going to fare in front of a Los Angeles jury?
I'm interested to see it. I mean, we've all seen him, if you've watched any of the footage, the documentary, and any of the coverage of this case. I mean, we've seen him, and he's a quirky guy. He's going to be a quirky guy on the stand. He's still going to be himself. And so I don't love his odds in front of a jury, quite honestly. I don't think that he'll play well to a jury, but he is the type of guy who is going to get out there and he's going to say what he's going to say. I'm guessing that his defense attorneys wouldn't be able to keep him off the witness stand. Yeah,
especially given his success in Galveston, Texas, where he was dressed as a woman. He moved into a place and he not only killed his neighbor, but dismembered his body and was able to convince the jury at the end of the day to convict him, not to convict him. He was found not guilty in that case, and we'll see how he does the next time around. Again, we're expecting that trial to resume next week. A hearing is scheduled for Monday morning. Mark Begnaud, thank you so much for your time and expertise this morning on this Friday morning. We are going to step aside and take a break. We have much more ahead, more from Glynn County, Georgia, more from Minneapolis, and more previewing both the Robert Durst trial and Molly Tibbetts, the trial concerning the death of Molly Tibbetts in Iowa. That's coming up next week right here on Court TV. You'll have live gavel-to-gavel coverage of that as well. Lots ahead. Julie Grant will be here when we return. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.